Welcome to HCS Talks. I'm your host, Superintendent of Hampton City Schools, Raymond Haynes. Welcome to Season 2 of HCS Talks, our Hampton City Schools podcast. Our goal is to educate, inform, and even entertain both our local community and listeners beyond. Each episode will cover a variety of topics from education and student success to the efforts of our teachers, support staff, parents, and community partners. We'll also dive into programs and initiatives offering something valuable and informative for everyone. We hope you will join us and continue tuning in to HCS Talks. Today I have the opportunity to sit down with Ms. Tracie Albea, one of our elementary principals here in Hampton City Schools. She's actually the principal of Cooper Elementary Magnet School for Technology. Welcome, Ms. Albea.
Well, hello. Thank you.
And thank you for joining us today on HCS Talks. Before we jump into our discussion about Magnet Elementary Schools, would you please introduce yourself to the listening audience?
Well, hello, everyone. My name is Tracie Albea, and like Dr. Haynes said, I am the principal of Cooper Elementary Magnet School for Technology. I have been there since 2015. I've been in Hampton since 2004. That's been a minute.
That's a long time.
That is. I also had the pleasure in my tenure here at Hampton to work under Dr. Haynes.
Is that right?
Yeah, I did.
Before we get into that, and you make certain that you are accurate to the listening audience, because there are some folks I can call just in case you're not sharing the information the way it is expected for you to do so. Before we get into that, you say you started here in what year?
I believe 2004.
2004.
Yes.
And in what capacity?
I served as an assistant principal at Forest Elementary for 4 years. Then I moved to Barron, I believe, for 2 years. And then that's when we started working together at a Phoenix pre-K the inaugural year for a year. And then I moved on back to Forest as the principal for 4 years. And then I landed at Cooper and been there ever since.
And prior to coming to Hampton, what did you do?
Prior to coming to Hampton, I taught fourth grade, 5th grade, and 6th grade in Newport News. I taught 1 year at Sedgefield Elementary and 10 years at Achievable Dream Academy.
All right. Are you from this area?
No, I'm not. I am from, I claim Rocky Mount, North Carolina as my home. Both of my parents were from Rocky Mount, North Carolina, but I actually grew up in Illinois, Peoria, Illinois. And my junior year in high school, we moved back to Rocky Mount. I graduated from Rocky Mount Senior High. Then I continued on to North Carolina Agricultural and Technical State University, Aggie Pride. And then from there, I moved here after I graduated.
So Illinois, you still have family in Illinois?
No, we didn't have any family in Illinois. My dad, at the time, got a job. He worked for Caterpillar as an accountant.
Okay. So you came to Hampton in an administrative capacity and served at several different schools. You were there when we opened George P. Phoenix Pre-K through 8 school during that inaugural year, and you and I were the first administrators in that building, along with Ms. Sharon Slater and Dr. Bryce Johnson as well.
Mm-hmm.
So talk a little bit about that experience.
It was a wonderful experience. Yes, it was. That's what you want me to say. It was a wonderful experience.
We had some challenges.
We did. But I think we did a wonderful job that first year. I think I was in charge of 3 through 5.
Yes.
And Ms. Slater was K through 2, and Dr. Johnson was 6 through 8. It was an interesting year, trying to figure out how we were going to corral the pre-K students, trying to figure out how we're going to get the kids on the buses to get them home. First of all, we had to find our way through the building.
Yes. The whole year, I still couldn't find my way around.
Yeah, I got lost.
I still got lost. The interesting thing was we were straight in terms of the teaching and learning aspect. It's just logistics and
That
things you take
was,
for granted when school's
that was
already
a beast.
in
Yeah.
existence, just procedures and arrival and dismissal.
Yeah, I think our problem was we didn't know what it was going to look like.
Right.
And for a minute, it looked a mess, but we got it together. You remember the first day when we had all the kids outside and we were trying to figure out what car?
Yes, I remember the first day. Oh, I went home with a major headache, but it only got better as time progressed.
Yeah.
And opening that school, it opened that capacity. I think we had close to 1,400 students just being a part of that newness and that whole design with technology and just that model of having elementary and middle grades together it was a challenge.
It really was. But I think, like I said before, I think we did a great job. At least everybody didn't see the.
They didn't see us paddling underwater.
No, they didn't.
It looked like smooth sailing for the most part. But after that first year, we pretty much were dismantled.
Yep. I think we left them pretty good, if you ask me.
We left them in great shape.
We sure did.
I went on to Kickintan. You went on to become the principal at Forest.
Right.
And Miss Slater went on to be the principal at Sims. So the majority of the administrative team left after that first year. But we had some structures and systems in place that I think helped
they
set
still
up
do
the
it
next
now.
group.
I think they still continue. So.
Yes, ma'am. So great experience. So now you are in how many years have you been in the school system?
Let's see, I started in 93. So I know, right? So it's 30, going on the 32nd year.
That's longer than I've been born.
See.
Okay.
Why are you trying to embarrass me?
I'm just checking. I mean, that's been a while. We certainly
been.
appreciate your years of service to education altogether.
Lifetime Achievement Award.
How long have you been at Cooper?
Since 2015.
2015.
And I'm going to tell you, the time has flown by. It doesn't even seem like that long.
I know. When you're having fun, though. So, Ms. Albea, what sets your school apart as a magnet school for technology, and how does it differ from a traditional elementary school?
I think what sets Cooper apart is that we have the space and the ability to get our kids together to collaborate, to communicate, and to problem solve. And that's the whole premise behind, I guess, the STEM model is, teaching our students how to be problem solvers, giving them the time and the space to do it. And that's what we do at Cooper. And the reason why it's a little different is because we do try to incorporate that into our daily lessons. If it's not directly incorporated, it is touched on daily.
So that design thinking model starts as early as when they enter kindergarten, I would imagine.
And let me tell you, the funniest thing is when we first start the students in kindergarten with that design model, they get so frustrated when they get to the end and their project doesn't work. They don't learn that, they haven't learned or quite understand that it's okay. It's okay to mess up. It's okay, because then we have to go back and figure out, what we do, what could we do differently? What do we need to add? What do we need to take away? So it's good to see when they're in kindergarten how when I say crying, temper tantrums, just frustration because it doesn't work.
Right.
But by the time they get about to leave out of 5th grade, this is just what we do. This is how we this is how we problem solve.
So you all have been doing project-based learning exercises and experiences.
Yes, way before I got to Cooper. It's just part of their culture.
It speaks volumes to us looking at what we call the portrait of a Hampton graduate. And those tenets are already clearly defined at your school.
Oh, absolutely.
So as young people leave Cooper Elementary Magnet School for Technology and they go on to middle school, and then once they get into high school, a lot of that in terms of STEM is sort of kind of second nature for them.
It is, and it is good. I have a lot of students that come back and, they talk about their interest is still in engineering or it's in technology. Because a lot of times that the parents, they want them to come. It's not necessarily something that the kids know that they like, but after being at Cooper or going through Cooper, they still have that interest and that desire to continue with those, that career
STEM
path.
concept. Makes sense. So how do you ensure that students are not only consuming technology, but also becoming creators and problem solvers with it?
I think, and this is your word that I love to use, we're very intentional about making sure that we use that technology just for that, for creating,
Right.
for problem solving, and not just an app or a game or a video clip. Like, what can we do? Can we make that movie? Or if we're doing something, if they're building something, can we use technology to enhance what they're building?
Right.
Not just so we try to, and I have to give a shout out to our STEM teacher, Brittany Spitz, because she is very creative in trying to incorporate the technology piece and also give them that hands-on experiences.
So they look at ways that technology can be used to further enhance.
And also, too, and technologies is just not the computer. It's just
Right.
not digital. It's just how to make things easier. What can we do? What can we design to make things easier or to reach whatever goal? So the students learn that, we have some creative students.
I can imagine.
Yes, building all types of stuff. But you'll have, and it'll be the craziest things, a pencil shooter. Now, we should not shoot pencils across the room,
Right.
but I could give them kudos for being creative.
Looking at the physics of it all.
Right.
And recognizing how they work collaboratively.
Exactly.
It really does. If you go back and look at what we have outlined for the characteristics of the portrait of a graduate, portrait of a Hampton graduate, talks about positive sense of self and purpose. It seems like you all are intentional in building that work around making certain that they understand what that means and that they help to develop a healthy sense of self and
Right.
purpose. But that communication, collaboration, and leadership, that speaks to the characteristics in the portrait of a graduate as well. The teamwork in terms of them putting
Mhm.
together these design thinking projects and modules speaks volumes to that as well.
And, just to kind of touch on that, it's all well and good that we're doing the technology piece, but we do have to, we have realized it's very important that we intentionally set the kids up to be able to work with one another, practice those communication skills, those collaboration skills, because now, everybody's in their phone or everybody's on their computer, and you tend to lose those social
Right,
skills. But you
right.
have to have those social skills to be able to work together to problem solve.
Oh, absolutely.
So I love the fact that we do take that time to have those class meetings to put those kids together in groups and make them talk it out. We're not going to use the technology right now. We're going to
Mhm.
talk and work this thing out.
Problem solving and
Mhm.
building
And
off each other's creative minds.
that's right.
hmm So, in what ways do you feel that the focus on technology at an early age helps prepare your students for the future?
Well, to me, I think our kids come out now ready. Um, it's us, the adults, that
Right.
have to keep up with it.
hmm
I think our students are ready for.
They came into this world with
Yeah, so
technology.
it's the grown people, it's the
Right.
big people who are having problems keeping up.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Because I'm pretty sure you've seen, or I know I've seen on social media, you'll see babies knowing how to scroll.
Yes.
Um, so I think they're already focused on it. The problem is we got to keep up with
We
it and
have
make
to,
sure
yes.
we're one step ahead.
And teaching them how to be responsible
Responsible,
with it as well.
exactly.
Um, just a thought. Anything on artificial intelligence yet? Have you all talked about that in your school or lessons? Has that come up?
No, thank you. It has not come up yet.
But it probably would be
It's gonna-
something your STEM teacher is
Yeah,
probably looking
I
into.
think too, and honestly, with our little ones that we have now, in the next couple of years, it's going to be
Right.
more prevalent.
Right.
Right now, we kind of have a hold on what they do and where they go on the computer.
Mhm.
We do a lot of, they do a lot of composing, writing, regular old school paper
Right.
pencil right now. So we don't have to worry about the AI right
Right.
now.
But I think when it does come up, and it will,
It
just
will.
teaching them how to use it responsibly,
Right.
I think would be key. And if you teach them very early on at the
Mhm.
elementary years, by the time they matriculate on to middle and high school, you have a very responsible, technology-driven citizen as well.
I agree.
So how do you balance the use of technology with the development of social and emotional skills? And
Like I talked about a little earlier, we really do a good job of intentionally having those um, just human moments with our class meetings. Sometimes you have to put the technology away and you need to focus on um, teaching each other or reminding each other about showing kindness, being empathetic towards one another, learning how to, disagree but not, be ugly about
right.
it, So those are the things that I think our Cooper teachers do a wonderful job of, helping our
I
students
concur.
with.
It continues to be one of the most sought after schools when folks are moving into the area. We often talk about making certain Hampton as the first choice. So a lot of military families, when they come to the area, we want them to think about and choose Hampton as their place to educate their young people. And oftentimes, Cooper tends to be one of the schools they want to at least try,
Yeah.
put forth a good effort into getting their children into.
I told you I'm from North Carolina, a little Southern hospitality. I try to make them feel good when they come through the doors. But I also, I really instill upon our staff that, when our parents leave their students with us, it's our responsibility not to, we make them a little smarter every day when they go home, but
Right.
we got to take care of them. And it has to be in a family oriented home environment. And so I hope when people come to the building that that's what they feel. They
Mm,
feel that they're welcome and wanted. And if you don't feel that way, you come talk to me and let me talk it out with you.
right.
But we want Cooper to be a place where kids love to learn. They don't want to go home. They're happy to come every day. And
And look forward to
mhm.
showing up. One of the other unique things about Cooper, as with some of our other schools, young people are coming from all over the city. So that
Yes.
lends itself to the diversity. And I think that that's also a strength that your school has as well. You want to talk a little bit about that?
Yes, we have kids from all over. We do a lottery system. I know some of our other choice schools, they do a wait list, but we do a lottery system. So, what that means is that every year around January, we start taking applications for the following school year. And it is truly a legit lottery. Um, we used to fold everything up and literally grab names, but since we're School of Technology, I found a name generator online, and we put the names in, and that's how we fill up our slots.
Okay.
Um,
Is there a waiting list after you
no,
fill up the slots?
so what usually genuinely happens is we fill up. We if someone leaves, and I'm proud to say that the most of the time that people leave is their parents get another job somewhere. Um, that's it. Really, that's the
Relocating.
relocating. And because they are responsible for transportation. That's the only thing I wish I could change. But because the parents are responsible for transportation, if it becomes too much of a burden, then they'll go somewhere that will lend itself to transportation. But um, once we have the slots, if people leave throughout the year, we try to fill the slots.
Mm,
At the end of the year, all those applications go away and we start all over again. So it's not a waiting list.
okay.
Yeah.
Well, I can't say enough about what you and your staff do at Cooper Elementary Magnet School for Technology because, like I mentioned earlier, it continues to be one of the highly sought after schools in terms of folks who actually move to the area. They're wanting to see how can I get my child into that school because of the great things you all do on a regular basis, and you do it intentionally as well. So, how do you involve parents in the community in your school?
We like to involve our parents and by inviting them into different activities and even the community inviting them inviting them into different activities. One of our great activities is our gingineering night.
Gingineering.
Yes,
What is that
gingineering.
about?
Oh, gingineering. So it happens in December, and the parents come in and they do a STEM challenge on building a gingerbread house.
Hmm.
Now, when you come to gingineering night, you need to be ready. And when I say you get no prize. It's just
But it's
bragging rights.
competition, bragging
Yes, I
rights.
mean families come ready to rock and roll.
So what do they do?
So we give them We give them the graham crackers, the icing, all the
You
decorations.
give them all the
We
ingredients.
give them the parameters that they need to fix up their house. And we give them the space to do it. And they have a certain amount of time. Now, I even had some families, I told them, I said they were wrong for this, but they come in with their own reinforcements. Like they come in with extra graham crackers. I said, you can't do that. But when I say they are ready, and oh my goodness.
So the goal is to do what?
Build a gingerbread house. And it has specific, like, it needs to be so many
dimensions.
Right. Whatever the dimensions or whatever it's supposed to be. But they come up with some stuff. And it is very competitive.
So how long have you all been doing the gingeneering?
That's been done ever since that was there before I got there.
Okay.
That's a thing we do.
One of the annual big events there.
Yes. And like I said, they come prepared. This is serious.
So in the end, do they eat it or just take pictures
I would
and
not
bragging
want to
rights?
eat. Yeah, I think it's just bragging rights.
So it's not edible.
It's edible, but I don't know if you want to eat all of it. Because it's a family affair. So you may have little ones there. It's frosting all over. But sometimes parents really, they balance the thing out, trying to get it out so it won't fall, take home. It's a fun night.
Gingeneering. I'll have to check it out this year.
Yep. And we have a STEM night STEM Lego night that's coming up in a couple weeks. Where we're going to get the families out to see some of the STEM projects that are going on in the school, and plus do a Lego challenge. So our families really love that.
So the events that you have are all STEM focused, and it really gets parents involved and engaged in the whole process.
Yeah, most of our events are. We do have like a reading night where we may focus on, reading, and then we have a math night as well. So we try to do that.
And it shows, looking at student performance, and particularly science at your school, you tend to perform, your young people tend to perform at the highest level
they rock
compared
and roll
to
with
other
the
young
science.
people throughout the state, actually. So what advice do you have for parents who may feel overwhelmed by the rapid pace of technological change and its role in their child's education?
I would just honestly say, because as a mother of, I'm a mother of two, and they're older, but just trying to stay, I can't tell you to try to stay ahead of it as much as you can. Make sure that you know what your child is doing on, be a responsible digital citizen.
Right.
And I would just tell them, as far as school is concerned, just take a deep breath, and we are all in this together.
Right.
Because a lot of times our parents are coming to us with their experience in school, and their experience is not like their child's experience.
Not like it at all.
No.
We say now in Hampton City Schools, we are preparing young people for the world they are about to enter into.
Right.
Not the world we came from. The world we came from. So, you say you've been an educator for 52 years?
Wait a minute. Hold on.
I'm sorry, 32. I slipped up. For 32 years, what do you see are some major differences from when you started versus now?
Wow. A lot. I would say, I think now, and I understand because I am a parent too. I would say the difference would be the technology piece. We didn't have to. Matter of fact, I remember being a teacher at Achievable Dream, and we had to sit in on a professional development, and they were showing us what the future was going to be about. And you know what it was? FaceTiming. We thought that was like, oh, that is going to be what? You get to talk to somebody in real time? Now that's just what we do.
Right.
So just the constant changing and moving, and just trying to stay with it. Before, in education, we were just trying to get the slang, what the kids were saying.
Right.
Now we got to get the slang. Plus, we got to figure out what they're doing on their phones. Now we got to, it's just
Social
a lot.
media, yes.
Yeah, it's just a lot.
So those challenges, some of the major challenges you're seeing now versus back then,
And we didn't
itself to
have
technology and social media.
We didn't have it.
So what are some of the challenges you faced in leading a technology-focused school, and how have you overcome them?
Some of the challenges is just making sure that the people that come aboard to Cooper are ready for those technology changes. Things change all the time. But I am so proud to say that the majority of our staff, they're on it a lot better
Right.
than I am. They're forever sharing with one another. Hey, did you see this? You see how you can do with this? Or let me show you what the latest is with this app or, this program. Let me show you. So just making sure that I put people in the place that have that love for STEM, technology, and math. And they do. They really do.
Excellent. So if there's one thing you hope your students take away from their experience at a technology-focused elementary school, what would that be?
I just hope they had a good time learning. And I'm all about making good memories. So I hope their memories of Coopers would be a happy ones. I hope that they will continue to problem solve, collaborate, and communicate with one another. And I hope that we um, taught them how. Like I tell parents, when they come in, and sometimes our friends have a little hard time adjusting, but to watch them grow. So when they leave out in fifth grade, we can say, "Whoa, remember when? Look at them!" and just see. Matter of fact, I got a great um, s- small story. I was taking my son to Virginia State for his freshman year.
Who was a graduate of Bethel
Bethel
High
High
School?
School,
What
yes.
academy was he in? Do you remember?
He was in the MAD Academy.
Mad Academy, Media Arts and Design.
Yes. But I was in the little lobby and just trying to find out where I was supposed to go, trying to help him get settled. And this lady comes out of stage left. I'm like, who is this lady? Miss Albea. I was like, who knows me here? And she said, I just want to thank you. I want to thank you. My child had a great time at school. And I was like, okay. When he was a freshman at Virginia State, too.
Mm-hmm.
So I said, it is such a pleasure. She said, he talks about Cooper and how much fun he has in Cooper. He's done that all through his school, his school
That's what it's
career.
all
So
about.
I was,
Yes.
yeah,
Made you feel good.
it
That is
sure
what it's all
did.
about. We talk about, the impact that we make on young
Mhm.
people. And sometimes you don't know immediately, but there are
Yeah.
stories folks can tell about how much of an impact that school made on them, so much so that perhaps they have desires to be an educator or do the same
Mhm.
thing for other folks themselves. So that's a very
Yes.
powerful story, heartwarming. It makes you feel good too. So, any final thoughts you would like to share as we close out today, Miss Albea?
I would just like to say how much fun I've had today talking with you, Dr. Haynes. And I just encourage parents to, new parents, if you're listening, to consider Cooper Elementary Magnet School.
Put a shout out.
I sure will. Shameless, shameless shout out.
I don't blame you. You advocate for your school.
That's
Be that
right.
brand ambassador
That's right.
for Cooper
And I
Elementary
have
School
to
for
say
technology.
that any school that you choose in Hampton would be the way to go.
Yes.
But Cooper would be a great place to look at too. But I just want to tell, let the listeners know that we have a lot of great students that are coming up. A lot of times you don't hear about the good things
Yes.
that our kids are doing, or that doesn't get all of the shine that it needs to get. But parents and teachers, you're doing a great job. We have some future leaders that are growing up out there that are going to be amazing. So just everybody take breaths and keep on doing what you're
And
doing.
that foundation has
That's
been
right.
laid at Cooper
It
Elementary
sure
School.
has.
Cooper Elementary Magnet School for
That's
technology.
right.
And we're
Where
going to continue.
greatness stems
Where,
from academic excellence.
where greatness stems from academic excellence.
excellence.
You should have started off with
I
that.
know. But let me hear you say it one more time. Say it
Where
one more time.
greatness stems
That's right.
from academic excellence.
That's right.
Miss Albea, we go back well over 20 years or so. I must say I
Yes.
enjoyed you being here today,
Oh, thank
and you
you.
did an excellent job. I will certainly report to your mom how well you have done today. Sometimes I call her for things when you don't make good choices, but today you did an excellent
Listeners,
job.
he calls my mom and tells on me. I cannot believe.
She wants me to make certain that you stay on top of things and continue to be great like you are. But I thank you, Miss Albea, for being here today and highlighting the program over at Cooper. I'm certain our listeners have taken away some valuable insight from our discussion. And to our listeners, remember, education is the most powerful weapon you can use to change the world. As one community, one transformation, we will ensure academic excellence for every child, every day, whatever it takes. We will catch you next week.
Listen to learn more about Hampton City Schools. New episodes of HCS Talks drop on Thursdays. Subscribe and listen to HCS Talks. HCS Talks is a Hampton City Schools production.